A lot of Lions season ticket holders are upset, but hey, we got a game to focus on too.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's happening, everybody? Matt Dery with you. It is another edition of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day on a Friday edition, December 13th, and the weekend, December 14th, Saturday, and of course, Sunday, December 15th, the Buffalo Bills, arguably the best team in the AFC, or at least one of them. At 10-3 comes a calling to Ford Field. It should be a raucous, loud, crazy crowd for 12-1 Detroit, 10-3 Buffalo on Sunday at 4:25. Matt Dery with you. Locked On Lions on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. As I said before, thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Shout out to our everydayers who are out there that watch and listen to the podcast daily. I'm going to do a rundown on Sunday. I know there's some people I told I would shout you out on Friday, but I got a lot to do today. I got a lot going on. I got a lot to discuss. So we'll get to our everydayers Sunday, maybe Monday. There's some of you out there that I promised I would shout out, and I'm going to do that. I promise. Locked On Lions today, brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Follow us on all social media platforms. Don't forget Sunday after the game, Locked On Lions Sunday edition. There will be a live show on Locked On Detroit Sports, the postcast with my guy Jake Riepma. So if you want something right away, he is on live on YouTube, Locked On Sports Detroit. I will have our Sunday show likely an hour and a half after the game on Sunday. Hopefully it is a Lions victory, as you heard yesterday on the crossover version with a Locked On Bills host, Joe Marino. And I'll tell you one thing. Joe Marino is as good of a host on this platform as anybody. He's the most successful Locked On show. Locked On Bills, if you go to Apple Podcasts, is it's the highest rated Locked On podcast there is. Joe does a great job, but I told Joe on the show, and he kind of agrees. I like the Lions in this game. I think it's going to be high scoring. Obviously, the two best scoring offenses in the league. And I think I said Detroit 33 and Buffalo 30. We're going to get to the injuries. We're going to get to Goff versus Josh Allen, MVP discussion, all of that stuff. But I got to start with the news of the day from yesterday. And I know I'm a little bit late in getting to this, but bear with me. But there are a lot of upset Detroit Lions fans and season ticket holders today, because as you saw yesterday on social media, the Sweta Patels of the world, the Megan Stefanskis, all the great Lions season ticket holders and legends on social media, all complaining or very upset about the season ticket letter and hike that they got from the team yesterday. All right, Lions sent out renewal forms to season ticket holders on Thursday, and it included a massive price hike. On average, the Free Press reports of 24%. I have seen some folks who reported increases of 67%. I've seen some people say, hey, my tickets were $1,800. Now they're $3,600, or $1,700. Now they're $3,800. Most fans, and this according to the Free Press and Dave Burkett, experience hikes of 30% or less. All right. Now, here's one thing to remember as well. Lions are selling all these games out. They've got about 56,000 season ticket holders. All right. And I'm sorry, folks. I know you're ready for a Matt Dery classic Rod Wood 222 Rod Wood Drive rant. You're not going to get one. It's supply and demand. Are they pricing out Megan and Sweta and some of the regulars and some of the average fans that are not gazillionaires? Yeah, they probably are. But this is supply and demand. I don't like it either. The fans that have been there forever, the fans that scratch and claw and work 2 jobs and whose wives or husbands have to work, and they set aside, they budget money for these tickets, and they've been there a long time, and they've been pretty affordable. I hate it for them. I hate it for you. But there's a waiting list of 22,000 people trying to get season tickets. And the Lions know if you can't come to the games and you can't buy the tickets anymore, they found somebody else to take your spot. I don't like it either. I really don't like it. But this is the cost of doing business, and this is the cost of winning. When your team is the hottest ticket in town, and the Detroit Lions are, and fans are dying to get to games. Right? My guy Noah Taluki, Bowling Green legend and former U of D Jesuit Cub. He's like, I want to go to the game on Sunday, but it's too expensive. It is. It's tough for what's Noah, 25 years old, 23, 24, 25-year-old that doesn't make a whole lot of money, wants to go to a game. They're a lot. I forked over a lot of money for Indiana Notre Dame next Friday to take my son because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Is it hitting me hard in the pocketbook, in the wallet? Yeah, it is, but I got to go. But to try to get to one Lions game, you're right. The ticket prices are crazy. Now, the one thing that I don't like, and I made a note and put this in my phone. The talking point is that the Lions compare prices to the secondary market. That's what they're going to tell you. That's what Rod's going to say. Well, we worked with Ticketmaster and the secondary market where our tickets are pretty fair before they hit the secondary market. Come on, Rod. This is the one thing I'm going to say that I don't like that Rod's going to say. You know who the Lions work with? They work with Ticketmaster to put in the secondary market tickets too. They're selling 56,000 season tickets. They're selling some of them to brokers and to people that immediately put them on the secondary market, jacking the prices up. So while you say, well, we're going to work with Ticketmaster and do our best. Remember last year when they made the playoffs? What did they do for season ticket holders? They said, hey, we're going to give you first crack at some extra tickets. Just click on this link. You click on the link, it takes you to Ticketmaster where the prices are already jacked up because it's the secondary market. They didn't give you the same price of your ticket or of a single game ticket for the regular season. That's called taking advantage of the average fan. I don't like that. But I can't sit here and tell you that I don't blame the Lions for raising rates because it's supply. People want these tickets badly. People are dying to go to a Lions game. Last night, prime example of the two other teams in town that are playing right now. I'm not ripping on the Pistons or Wings, but they're not a good product yet. Pistons are getting better. Red Wings, I don't know what's going on there. They're horrible. No one's dying to go to a Wings game. Remember when I moved here in 96, 97? Oh my gosh. The Red Wings it was hockey town. People were dying to get to the Joe. Now I know ticket prices weren't that high back then, but you get my point. No one's sitting there going, oh, I got to get to a Wings game right now. They stink. The Pistons have been bad for over a decade, getting a little bit better. I like the direction at least they're going. But again, last night, they got blown out. The Wings last night lost to the Flyers, who blow. Right? Tigers were a hot ticket last year for 2 months, 2.5 months. Will they keep it up? I don't know. The Lions are the team to see, baby. I was at Ford Field last Thursday night for the Packer game. It was fun. They put on a good show down there. The Lions do a great job. All right, they do. They're in game and their presentation, and it's a lot of football and focusing on football and not some of these other stadiums that I've been in where it's like a circus. It's fun. It's a fun environment. Was it as loud last Thursday as last season when I went to some games? It was not. Why? I'm not saying it's a wine and cheese crowd, but I think they're starting to price out some of the louder diehards, and who's getting priced in maybe some of the more deep pocket folks that might not be as loud at games. So I am sorry for the average fan. But I do not blame the Lions for hiking up prices again, 24% on average. For some fans, over 60%. That sucks. I feel for you. But again, if you leave, they got 22,000 people waiting to take your spot. So I'll defend the Lions there, but I didn't like what they did in the playoffs last year when they told everybody, oh yeah, get some extra tickets. Go on Ticketmaster. And then the prices were exorbitant and not the same price that they had paid before. But it's a business. It's a business. All right, coming up next, the little Seinfeld reference for you. Let's talk about the game a little bit. We got to get into the get you an injury update. All good on the injury front for the Lions, not so much for the Bills. We will get into that coming up next. I got to double check and remember who I'm advertising with today and who is with us on the live reads. We'll do all of that coming up next. Man, my laptop is killing me here. Right here on Locked On Lions, Friday edition. If you missed the crossover yesterday with Joe Marino, please check it out. And a Friday edition of Locked On Lions is brought to you by Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to everybody. You just pick more or less on at least 2 player stat projections for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, all right? Like I said, you can win up to $1,000, 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. And what's fun about it is you just pick a few players, and even if you're not into the game, all right, the 1 o'clock slate on Sunday is terrible. If we got to watch Browns and Chiefs, put some money down on Patrick Mahomes to have more than or less than 250 passing yards. What about Nick Chubb? Will he run for 70 yards, more or less than? Do that at Prize Picks. It is that much fun. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during what they're calling Picksmas. Download the app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app. Use the code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, ladies and gentlemen, run your game. And hey, Matt Dery here to tell you about Omaha Steaks. Nothing delivers comfort and joy quite like the unrivaled quality and taste of Omaha Steaks. It's guaranteed perfection in every single bite. And right here, right now, you could save on an unforgettable gift with 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, score an extra $30 off with promo code NFL. With 5 generations of experience, they consistently deliver the world's best steak experience, and the gifting experts at Omaha Steaks have made it easy to deliver the perfect gift with thoughtfully curated gift packages featuring gourmet favorites. From legendary steaks to mouth-watering desserts and more, save 50% off site-wide for limited time at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $30 off with promo code NFL. That's 50% off at OMAHA steaks.com. OMAHA steaks.com, and an extra $30 off. If you use the promo code NFL, minimum purchase may apply. Friday edition of Locked On Lions. Welcome back in the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Matt Dery with you. Lions hosting the Buffalo Bills, 4:25 on Sunday. CBS's NFL Today with James Brown, Nate Burleson, Matt Ryan, the whole crew. Coach Cowher will be right outside of Comerica Park, in between Comerica Park and Ford Field down there on Sunday. So if you're down early, check out NFL Today. They're coming to us live for Lions and Bills in a huge game in what some people are calling a Super Bowl preview, which I think is pretty darn cool. All right, as far as the injury update goes, Lions are getting everybody back this week. They've had 10 days off between games. DJ Reader will be back. Josh Paschal will be back. Levi Onwuzurike will be back. Taylor Decker playing. Only guy that's out for the Lions this week is Trevor Nowaski, who suffered a concussion in practice early in the week. He has been ruled out for the Lions. Everybody else is a go for this team getting healthy at the right time to have to face Josh Allen and the Bills. And that very, very good offense. This Shakir kid can really fly. And they're getting Kincaid back at tight end. Keon Coleman's coming back. So the Bills are getting some guys back. But a key injury for Buffalo, and we talked a little bit about this with Joe Marino yesterday. Rasul Douglas, one of their starting cornerbacks, is out. They don't have a lot of depth back there. All right, the Bills have had issues with cornerback depth. It was similar to what the Lions went through a couple of weeks ago when Kindle Vildor was playing a ton. So the Rasul Douglas injury is something to keep an eye on. You know the Lions are going to, pick on whomever is out there, whether it's Aleem or whomever they've got out there. Bills losing one of their top corners, not a good thing for them. And obviously a very good thing for Detroit. And as my wife and I's personal trainer told us today over at the beautiful Edge Fitness facility off of Hall Road, our buddy Mandy said, hey, look, they got to start targeting Amon-Ra more. Mandy knows her stuff. Mandy and Taylor, that whole crew there, they could talk Lions all day. So just because Mandy said it, watch out for Amon-Ra coming up on Sunday. Also, this is a game in which you've got two of the top five, actually two of the top four MVP candidates going head-to-head in the game. Josh Allen, according to our friends at FanDuel, is the sizable favorite to win the MVP award. He is currently at minus 450. So everybody thinks Josh Allen's the MVP after last week's performance as well in the Bills' 2-point loss to the Rams. By the way, that Rams-Niner game was abysmal last night. And when it went, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to do it. Let's just say there was a show I was tuning into this morning as I was flipping around that was talking about the Rams and Niners and how I can't believe how bad that game was. I didn't see it because I was sleeping, but I saw the highlights and both offenses were terrible. Yeah, bro, it was a rainstorm. Do some research. Minus 450 for Josh Allen, 3 touchdowns passing, 3 touchdowns running last week in their loss to the Rams. Rams, of course, bounced back with a win last night over the Niners. No look now, but we could be seeing Lions and Rams in the playoffs again. It's possible. LA gets in. You never know. And if they pull a first round upset, they could be coming to Detroit in round 2. You imagine another round of Matthew Stafford and Kelly and all that crap. Second highest odds for the MVP are Saquon Barkley at plus 550. Then you got Lamar Jackson at plus 1,400. And then our very own, and you chant his name all over town, Lions quarterback Jared Goff is at plus 1,700. You got to love that. You got to love a matchup where you got 2 of the top 4 for MVP going at it and going toe-to-toe in this game. And that's been the beauty of this season, and that's been what we haven't been used to in this town in decades. The amount of primetime games, the amount of highlighted games, spotlighted games. Lions playing Thursday night last week against the Packers. They had a Monday night game earlier there against Seattle. Now they're getting the 425 game against Buffalo, or the CBS number 1 crew's coming in. You know, and I know that week 18 against Minnesota may end up being flexed to Sunday Night Football. So we might get Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark yet again. That's very possible. That game is flexed in week 18. Remember when we used to sit here and go, can we just get one Monday night game? Can the Lions ever get a chance to play on Monday night and at least host the game? And I'm looking at it now. Sunday night game in week 1. Remember that. Monday night game in week 4. Lions have only played, 1, 2, 3. They've only played 3 1:00 games all year at home at Ford Field. Thanksgiving, of course, is 12:30, but you know what I mean. But it's just awesome. It's just awesome. And Josh Allen is so fun to watch because he moves. He's tough. You know, Jared Goff is our guy. He typifies Detroit. He was an underdog. He was spit out by the Rams and just told, get out. They traded him away, even though he took him to a Super Bowl. And he's played with that chip on his shoulder here in Detroit for 4 years now, and it's awesome. And the crowd and the fans love him. But I'll tell you one thing. If you had to pick another quarterback that you would call like a Dan Campbell guy and a Lions type of guy, it's Josh Allen. That guy gets dirty, man. That guy, yes, he slides and everything else, but Josh Allen is a guy that just plays so hard and so tough, and he's fearless out there. So it's going to be fun to watch coming up this weekend. All right, there is one matchup and something that Joe Marino touched on from Locked On Bills yesterday on the crossover that I want to get to. And this is going to be the biggest key for the Lions, because if the Lions do this one thing on Sunday, I don't think there's any question they're going to win this game. I'll explain that coming up next, right here on Locked On Lions. Folks, I mentioned FanDuel before, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers on FanDuel can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Man, I sound hoarse today. That's FanDuel.com, FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Welcome back, Locked On Lions. Friday edition. Again, we'll be with you on Sunday following the game. Lions and Bills next week. Of course, Detroit goes to Chicago to take on the Bears. If it is as cold in Chicago next week as it's been the last 2 days in Detroit, it's going to be an interesting game for Lions fans. By the way, I also saw on my Instagram that Bills Mafia is apparently trying to invade Ford Field. They've got a couple tailgates set up. They got a Saturday night event downtown at one of the bars. I don't remember which one. What's the one that used to be Chelly's? Whatever that is, across from Comerica Park. I believe that's where Bill's Mafia is going to be. We're going to see some broken tables and all of that. By the way, shout out to Roop Raj from Fox 2. I was at the Detroit Chamber of Commerce, a holiday luncheon yesterday, and he was talking with the CEO from Buddy's Pizza, and they were talking about making some sort of pizza bet. And the guy from Buddy said, "Oh, Roop, you should jump through a table like Bill's Mafia." And Roop's like, "Hey, Matt Dery, he would broadcast that if he could. He's here today." So thank you, Roop Raj from Fox 2. Little shout out yesterday. He is a class act. All right. Joe Marino said it yesterday, and I'm going to piggyback off of it. One of the reasons why I like the Lions to win this game, and I think it's going to be high scoring and close, is Detroit's running game. And the fact that the Buffalo Bills do a lot of very good things defensively. All right. On defense, they only allow 20.6 points per game, 8th in the league. Total defense, Lions are top 10, Bills are top 15. Lions are 10th, Bills are 14th. Against the pass, Bills are pretty good. 9th in the league. Lions are 23rd. But against the run, the Buffalo Bills are in the back half of the league. They are 19th in the league, allowing 123 yards a game to the opposition. The Lions are 5th, giving up 94 yards per game. All right, so Buffalo, not good against the run. 19th in the league, giving up 123. Well, where are the Lions solid? Where do the Lions know that if they need 4 yards, where are they going to go? All right, there's been a plethora of games this year, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, even on 3rd down. The Lions run the football. And so if the Buffalo Bills are going to have trouble stopping David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs on Sunday, it could be a very, very long day for them. Last week, they couldn't stop the Rams doing anything, whether it was Kyron Williams running, whether it was Matthew Stafford throwing, and it just became a track meet in that game. This week, the Lions know, hey, we run the rock. We keep the clock moving. Josh Allen's not going to be on the field much. This is a massive advantage for Detroit. These two teams are pretty even. People are calling it a Super Bowl preview. You might see this team again. Pay close attention to Buffalo. They got good players, and they do. They're well coached. Sean McDermott, for as much shrapnel as he gets about playoff losses, the Bills are good. But 19th in the league against the run, last week shredded by Kyron Williams. And I know a lot of it was pass game too with Stafford, but keep an eye on that because the Lions can establish Montgomery and Gibbs, Sonic and Knuckles. It could be a long day for Buffalo. This is why I like Detroit to win this football game. I think Buffalo is going to score some points. I think sometimes it can get, especially with the Lions injuries defensively. I know they're getting 3 huge pieces back, and Pascal Onwuzurike, Aleem McNeil will be back. That's huge for this team. But like I said before, still some injuries, still some guys out, still some linebackers are going to be having to play that have not played a ton this year. But man, the Lions can run that rock. It'll keep Buffalo off the field. I'm excited for this game on Sunday. I'm sure you all are as well. All right. Thanks for making us your first listen, everybody. Checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Again, we'll do some shout outs on Sunday or Monday. A lot of you have got to shout out. I've heard from so many fans and listeners on the pod. Appreciate all of you. Whether you're watching on YouTube, following us on all the social medias, whether you're an Apple subscriber, Spotify, whatever, please. Yeah. If you're on Apple, give us a 5-star review. I know some of you don't like me. That's fine. But I try to bring you good content each and every day. We're going to have Trey Wingo on next Tuesday. Get ready for the Bears game, but let's focus on Buffalo and Bills Mafia coming to town this weekend. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you again on Sunday.